Hey, thanks for clicking on the video. Heresy just launched yesterday, and it's much more intuitive when it comes to actually engaging with the new episodic content, especially compared to Revenant. So in this video, we're going to look at exactly what we need to do to ease through the new Nether activity and how we can most efficiently farm for weapons and armor, like one drop every 30 seconds fast. And that even means weapons from Act 2 and 3, which are currently dropping, like this bow and fusion rifle. Of course, there are timestamps down below for each section, and if you find this video useful at any point, a subscription would be greatly appreciated. Now to start us out, what does the beginning of the episode look like, and what quests are we actually going to need to complete? Well, it starts us with a usual onboarding mission that literally takes us on board the Dreadnought. Something happens to Eris, you'll probably want to see this yourself, and then you head into the last city to meet our seasonal vendor, or at least Act 1 seasonal vendor. Here you get your artifact and continue the weekly quest. This quest has us enter the Nether and effectively complete one full run. I'll talk more on the Nether itself in just a second, again timestamps down below. But upon completion here, you'll continue the seasonal storyline by heading to the Dreaming City and meeting up with Sloan. Just follow your objective markers and kill some ads. This quest step ends pretty quickly and unlocks the rest of the shaping slab for us to use, which is very entwined with the Nether activity, so we'll cover that in the Nether section. Once you return to the slab, you'll have the final step, which is to unlock the Tome of Want, and that's done by reaching Reputation level 3 at the slab, which for us was one more Nether run, and I'd wager it's about the same for you, but just play the Nether activities until you get this done. And when you do acquire it, the week 1 story ends with a branching quest that asks you to engage with the Tome of Want, or rather loot focusing, which this topic also has its own timestamp down below. But that's it for this week when it comes to the story. However, there is a lot more to engage with, which means it's Nether time. This activity is roguelike, meaning it gets harder as you play, and as you progress, you get more powerful through chosen buffs. Usually these come after big encounter completions, but can also be looted from chests or dropped from enemies. These buffs, all of them called boons, can range from stacking minor boons that give you buffs like increased light damage, or they can be non-stacking major boons that augment your abilities, like giving you an entirely new grenade after doing a finisher. I'm not going to discuss this much more in depth in this video, as it's pretty self-explanatory as you play. Each boon straight up tells you what it does when you're looking at it. My only tip is to pick up every minor boon you see. You might think there's a max quantity, but there isn't. Now, besides these boons, we have actual gameplay and encounters within the Nether, which is also pretty straightforward. Encounter-wise, you're looking at 3 smaller encounters per area, each marked with a star when you pull out your ghost if you don't know where to find it. Upon completion of those, you then gotta kill a boss to move to the next area. Do this process 3 times and you complete a full run of the Nether. Now, I'm not gonna bore you with shoot the enemies to kill them because you know how to do that. Instead, we're gonna quickly touch on what side activities exist while you're going through a normal run. First is the pressure event that will spawn periodically. For this, just destroy the marked blights to avoid being wiped. What goes hand in hand with this is actually the Nether Silentium, however you say that, which is a mini encounter being a HVT or a blight you have to destroy, which seems to delay the wipe from happening and then also gives you some boons. Granted, the blights are as easy as hell to dispatch, so there's little worry when they actually do spawn. The next thing to keep an eye out for are the interactables in the environment. These include chests and materials, being the Metastisized Essentia. For chests, these can give you boons, sigils, which are important for upgrading the seasonal vendor and straight up seasonal loot. The Metastisized Essentia is essential for engaging with the Tome of Want. And the reason it says fleeting before its name when you go to pick it up is that if you fail the activity, you actually will lose that material. Now, a massive tip while running through the Nether or going for loot and materials, finding all the secrets, is you need to kit out your ghost. By default, you should have a wombo detector equipped, which lets you see both chests and materials through walls. And then as you loot chests, you'll unlock fragile ghost mods that alter what boons you receive. So your ghost is actually pretty important for the Nether activity. Now, aside from the surface level collectibles, you have these taken chests, which consume Essence of Desire to get you a guaranteed weapon drop. You can actually get an upgrade to see what weapon each chest offers. Also, if you're curious about what Essence of Desire is, we'll talk about that in a later section when we go over the Tome of Want. Another collectible besides those chests are these ravenous worms that are hidden about, and they seem to just be for triumphs. And then there's some more secrets like this taken ball that moves around and spawns a chest when you chase it down, and similar things with braziers and hard to reach rooms. There's just a lot of secrets around that give you pretty much just a bit more loot and often a couple more boons. And on that note, before we delve into the seasonal vendor and focusing loot, what can you just expect from a run of the Nether? Well, like I mentioned, you're gonna get seasonal loot and sigils for opening chests randomly, then completion of each area is gonna offer a lot more loot and a lot more sigils. And then while you're doing the nether, any weapon drop can be shiny for double perks, and if you're hunting for adept weapons, then you're going to need to complete the expert nether variant, which in all honesty isn't even that hard. All you got is slightly more difficult enemies on the high end and then some added champs. Everything else remains about the same. And I think that's pretty much everything for the nether. So with that itself aside, let's take a look at the seasonal vendor, the Shaping Slab. Here you have the reward track, which gives you this cool new mod that technically makes any weapon anti-unstop, some more miscellaneous rewards, and the Tome of Want we mentioned earlier. Before looking at that, as this is the big thing for the season, the two menus up here augment what actually goes down in the nether. This tab is where you can spend sigils to get passive benefits. The number here determines how many enhancements of what kind you can have equipped. With 2 slots, you can have 2 1 cost or 1 2 costs, and so on. And this enhancement level increases every 2 rep levels. So pretty simple for this tab. The next one has boon upgrades that you'll passively acquire, and these legendary scrolls which offer reward bonuses. Right now, I'm still trying to figure out how to unlock this one that increases the efficiency of the Tome of Want, but in the API we can see that more are also coming that do things like make shiny weapons have triple perks rather than double perks. As for how you get the other one that we already have, it seemed to be from completing the seasonal storyline. And that should be the Shaping Slab for this week, because it will 100% be growing in future weeks, but we'll still want to put it aside for now. Moving on, let's look at the Tome of Want. First thing you gotta do to engage with this is you have to get Essence of Desire. This is done right in Eris's apartment by dunking 10 Metastisized Essentia right here at this statue thing, which will convert all of those to Essence of Desire. Now, like I said, you're going to need these to activate the Tome of Want. You can also use them to open the chest that we saw earlier, but to be honest, I wouldn't really recommend it. Now, I'll describe how this Tome of Want works to get you weapons on the baseline. You can find it in your inventory with actually quite a bit going on in here, but we're gonna start down here. In this column, you'll slot in a large pool of loot, like episodic weapons, for example. And with that slotted, you can activate the tome here, costing Essence of Desire, and begin to earn some episodic weapons. But you can focus further by, before activating, going to the second slot and choosing specific types of weapons within that first bucket. Like episodic weapons, focus to be an auto rifle. And then once you've chosen your desired loot pool, activating the tome, this will give you a number of charges depending on what you focused. And if you hover over the thing here, you can see it says exactly what you need to do to get a drop to happen. Activity completions, defeating powerful combatants, and defeating guardians. It also says you'll receive the specified rewards once the tome is fully infused, and you can check that here with this bar. When this reaches 100%, you get your loot. Now, a couple more things. How do you get new scriptures, which are how you focus? Well, you can get them from chests within the nether, but the for sure method is completing the Tome of Want a Primer quest, which you got earlier, which essentially just follows this triumph that, when completed, allows you to spend sigils to focus any loot you want, like how you see here. And then the last part of the Tome of Want is the artifact boosting, which is pretty much done passively. This section here is all the boosts that you can activate, and right now we only have one unlocked, but while that's equipped, anytime you have a ritual going, which means you're on the way to getting loot, the boost is going to be active. There's no timers like last season's tonic system. Now, to end us off, what should you be actually doing? You want loot, and you want it now. And you might even be looking for some of that unreleased loot I was talking about at the beginning. So how do you go about that as quick as possible? Well, there's two sides to this. One is that you need Essence of Desire, which means you need to be doing the nether activity, explicitly for the Metastisized Essentia. And what you can do and should do is activate the Tome of Want while farming this activity. So as you loot chests and complete encounters, those are going to give you loot, albeit, it's up to total RNG, but while that's happening, your Tome of Want is progressing and giving you focused drops. But if you already have a ton of Essence of Desire and you want to expend that as quickly as possible, and this is where I said one drop every 30 seconds, you're gonna want to go into a private match and just kill your friends. Each PvP kill is worth 10%. So you're getting one drop of whatever you focused every 10 kills. And this is very fast. If you've got a group of pals looking for loot, let them know about this strat. And also, this is where the Act 2 and 3 weapons come in. It's actually only with the episodic focusing, so you can do that anywhere. If you have this focusing option active, it can pull weapons that you shouldn't be able to have, like this bow or fusion rifle. Just know you're not gonna get those from random loot within the Nether activity, it has to be from the Tome of Want. And with that, I think that's everything for Heresy's first act. If you know of any secrets or have some more stuff unlocked that I don't, please let me down below so I can pin your comments. Also, thank you for getting this far into the video. Your viewership means a ton. I'm actually really enjoying episode Heresy. I hope you are too. The story, the weapons, all of it, the activity seems really good. So if you want to talk about that, again, I would love to hear your thoughts down below. And as I always go, if you want to support me and support the channel, a like, a comment, a subscription goes a very long way. If you want to support me and support the channel, but you can't think of a comment down below Heresy. And with that, as usual, I hope you are having a great day, and I hope to see you around.